Good evening everybody, welcome back once again to Axel's Wrestling Review. As always, I'm your host Darren Dyer, also known in the Twitter world as Axel Mulligan. As always, like to say, whatever you want to call me, I've probably been called worse. Talking, well, it's obviously midweek, so it's the review of Honour, but there's something I want to talk about regarding local promotion. To me, a promotion that I love going to watch as often as I can, you know. Promotion called Pro Wrestling Chaos. I mentioned last week that they had a show at the Bower Club in Filton, Bristol, this as I say, this past Saturday, and there was an event that took place. Wrestler, don't know how many of you know him, a guy called Flash Morgan Webster, in my opinion one of the best wrestlers on the UK circuit right now. I've seen Flash wrestling 3, 4, 5 times, and I just think he's a fantastic talent. You know, he's one of those guys that I just can't speak highly of. Not the biggest build in the world, but a lot of guys at the moment are proving that you don't have to have the biggest build in the world to make the biggest waves in the wrestling business. I mean, you just look at a guy like Daniel Bryan. You know, 5'10", 5'9", 5'10", 200 pounds, and Flash is sort of cut from that same mould. You know, he's not a big guy, not a big build. But you know, in my opinion, he's a fantastic wrestler. And there was an event that took place, as I say, at the Bower Club at Filton, Bristol, this past weekend. And Flash got into, by all accounts, I wasn't at the show. Flash got into some sort of altercation, I suppose, and ended up choking out a referee. Pro Wrestling Chaos put a statement out on their Facebook page on Monday, so 2 days ago, which read, "It is with sadness and quite frankly some frustration that Pro Wrestling Chaos will no longer be working with Flash Morgan Webster at Flash Morgan, at Flash_Morgan at future events. Regardless of any fans or other talents' feeling regarding the matter, we cannot tolerate abuse of this level towards our officials. This sends out the wrong message to the rest of the locker room and to our young fans. Referees should not be treated in this way. Therefore, we felt Webster's position in the company was therefore untenable. There is no doubt he's a talented young man. Hopefully after time we can find a way to work with him again. But as of this statement, Morgan Webster is not expected to appear at any of our future events." That's the statement. As I say, that's the statement left by Pro Wrestling Chaos on their Facebook page this past week, or this past Monday. It's not good news, obviously. You know, as I say, I'm a big Morgan Webster fan. I love going to watch him wrestle. I'm going to the show. They got a show in May at Yate Leisure Centre, literally 10 minutes from my front door, which I'll be going to watch. I've got a front row ticket, and one of the people, you know, I was hoping to go to see. My favourite wrestler in Pro Wrestling Chaos is Mike Bird. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. But Morgan, you know, he's one of my favourite wrestlers on the Pro Wrestling Chaos roster as well, and unfortunately he's not going to be there. And it just, there's unfinished business there with, I think, between Dave Mercy and Flash Morgan Webster. You know, Mercy's he's been taken out by Webster in the past, and for me, just doesn't seem to have been able to get his level of retribution that he probably so rightly deserves. And you know, Webster, what he's done is he's taken him out with his motorcycle helmet, taken out Dave, and Dave's not been able to get his level of retribution. And if you're going to look at it in fairness and equality, I think that's the prize for Dave Mercy. He needs to get his retribution, and because he's not got anything from this. You know, he's left high and dry in a way, and Morgan's just, you know, he's out the door, he's not coming back. And yes, I know you can't treat referees in the manner that Morgan Webster treated the official this Saturday. You can't choke out a referee, obviously. And I think, as I say, Dave needs this retribution. My wrestling mind is just thinking, well, the referees are at risk with Morgan Webster in the ring. Dave Mercy probably wants, and probably needs this retribution against Morgan Webster just to settle the score once and for all. I'd like to see a match between the two, one-on-one, no DQ, no holds barred, falls count anywhere, whatever it happens to be, some sort of stipulation, but with a special guest referee. Who that special guest referee would have to be, I don't know. But I think you've got to get somebody who can physically defend themselves against a wrestler. So, you know, bring in a wrestler to referee the match, and I think that, you know, that could just be a fantastic way to go. You know, you settle the feud. Hopefully Morgan will, whatever he's got going on, it'll sort him out. And personally, as I say, I love watching Morgan Webster wrestle. I think he's just a phenomenal talent. Dave Mercy as well, he's a good wrestler, he's a great wrestler. What do you think, Pro Wrestling Chaos? I'll be sending you this video. I always send you this video. Just let me know what you think. Morgan Webster, let me know what you think. Dave Mercy, let me know what you think. Anybody in Pro Wrestling Chaos, just let me know what you think of this suggestion. You know, we'll try and get it going. Hashtag bring back Flash. I tried getting it going on Monday, it didn't really take off, but this is me putting out there now. Hashtag bring back Flash. I love watching Flash Morgan Webster. I know there are a lot of other people who love watching Flash Morgan Webster as well. Such a phenomenal talent. And it'd just be a shame to see it go to waste due to, you know, a few, I wouldn't call them mishaps, I don't really know what the right word is to use at this moment in time, but obviously a few situations that have taken place over the last few months. As I said, it'd just be a big shame and a big waste of talent to lose on the Pro Wrestling Chaos roster. But anyway, that's my two pennies on the situation. Obviously, the usual reason why we're here midweek, the review of Honor, the Ring of Honor review. Decent show this week, as you come to expect with Ring of Honor these days, because the standards just keep, if they don't stay where they are, they only get higher. You never really lose. If you do lose ground, you don't lose much. If you're talking in terms of a marking score, you lose 0.5 or a point at most. You don't lose 2-3 marks like, you know, WWE tends to do. First match of the night, first match of the show was the Romantic Touch versus Moose with Stokely Hathaway. More of a match just to get Moose over, I suppose. You know, further his streak, whatever that happens to be at the moment. As I say, you had Stokely Hathaway and Veda Scott in his corner. Since Stokely Hathaway's come out of the Ramon guys, I think he's just done brilliantly. You know, I thought he did well under the Ramon gimmick. It kind of reminded me of Sign Guy Dudley, where he didn't say a damn word, just kept his mouth shut and held up the sign saying the streak is at. This is obviously when they were in R.D. Evans' corner. The streak is at 100 now, 101 and 102 now. And now that he's with Stokely Hathaway, you know, he's got more of an intense character to him, and it's really intriguing to watch. He sort of completely transformed himself, and not in a bad way, because he was a suit wearing silent guy, and now he's like a casual clothes wearing guy who's got a mouth and an attitude. And one person I'd like to see come back as well, and I've mentioned it before, is Prince Nana, and I'd like to see him get involved in this angle, especially if R.D. Evans is going to come back at some stage, whether he's left Ring of Honor or whether he's going to be leaving Ring of Honor, I'm not sure. But I'd like to see R.D. Evans brought back into the fold, because I don't think the feud's over. I don't think you can settle it on that one match. I think that it needs a bigger payoff than that. As much as that match was at Final Battle, I think that they do need to just escalate it that little bit further. But yeah, as I said, it was a match to get Moose over. He won with the pounce, followed up by the spear. I think personally, I think Moose has got a lot of potential. I would say definitely a future TV champion, and I'm going to go out on a limb now, and I'm going to say a future World Heavyweight Champion in Ring of Honor, because I just think the guy's got that much potential. He's not like most former footballers that turn wrestlers. You know, you look at Goldberg, very limited in the ring. You look at Mojo Rawley, very limited in the ring. guy like Ron Simmons, you know, Ron Simmons went from the gridiron to the wrestling ring, and he was just fantastic, early lad. And then in, you know, more recent times, Marcus Corvon / Monty Brown did a fantastic job in ECW. I loved the Marcus Corvon gimmick. I loved his entrance theme as well, Smooth. I had it as my ringtone for a little while. I just thought it was a fantastic song. But he was a good wrestler as well, you know. And he also used the pants. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to go out on a limb. Moose for world champion at some stage in his Ring of Honor career. Second match of the night was Jimmy Jacobs and Adam Page, and it was due to be BJ Whitmer, but Whitmer substituted himself out of the match for Chris Laruso, who's, I've heard of him but I've never seen him wrestle before, versus LSG, Shahim Ali and Chris Chambers. It's basically the Decade are looking for their next young boy, and they were hoping to go up against these three young guys, basically obviously unheard of guys, and Whitmer said, well, no, why have three guys when you can have four? I'm substituting myself out of the match. Chris Laruso's coming in, he's taking my place, and we'll see what this kid's got. We'll see if he's got what it takes to be our next young boy. And it was a decent six-man, I thought, you know. Laruso showed what he could do, Shahim Ali showed what he could do, LSG, Chris Chambers, they all got time to shine, you know, and as well as Jacobs and Page, you know. We obviously know a lot more about Jacobs than we know about Page and Laruso and so on and so forth. We know more about Page than we do the other four, you know, potential young boys. The main story of the match, though, was that BJ Whitmer kept poking the bear known as Steve Corino. Kept poking the bear and poking the bear, and eventually what he basically kept doing is just taking the headset off of Corino, saying, you know, what do you think of this kid, Steve? What do you think of that kid, Steve? You know, this kind of thing. And Corino obviously doesn't like BJ anyway, full stop. He always said he was a bad egg, and he was right, you know. But Corino, I personally, I'd love to see the match at the 30th anniversary. I was hoping that we would have seen it at the Final Battle. It didn't happen for whatever reason. Obviously, they went in a different direction. BJ in the corner of Adam Page for his match versus Roderick Strong. But I'd love to see the match at the 30th anniversary, because I do think that we need to see the match more than anything, more than any other match in Ring of Honor right now. We do need to see this match, even more so than Jay Lethal versus Alberto El Patron, because this has been going on for years, and to the best of my knowledge, I don't remember seeing a match. I've been back into Ring of Honor for about a year or so now, and I've gone back and watched a lot of old pay-per-views and ROH TV, things like that. I don't remember seeing the match. Whether it has happened, as I will say, please do correct me if I'm wrong. But I'd love to see the match. I think Corino can still go. He proved that in his match with Kevin Steen last year. He does still do a bit of wrestling in Japan, I believe. Just get the match, just get it on. Going back to this match, Adam Page pinned, I'm not sure he pinned actually, it was a Shahim Ali, pinned Shahim Ali. It was the reverse pile driver that he uses. And the Decade beat down Chris Laruso after the match. That was the basic gist of it. Typical Decade stuff. I just wonder if they will use Laruso as their next young boy. That would sort of point to it that they would, because obviously, you know, that's how they used to treat TD Thomas, is how they used to treat Adam Page. Adam Page, you know, Jimmy Jacobs cut a short promo before the match saying, you know, Adam Page, you come into your own, I'm proud of you now, you're a full-fledged member of the Decade, you're no longer a young boy, we're looking for our next young boy. I just wonder if Chris Laruso will be that young boy. Only time will tell. Speaking of potential young boys, we got the Top Prospect Tournament final first round match. Ashley Sixx versus Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle's entrance is something else. His entrance music reminded me a lot of this is like a music only version of Queen's I Want It All. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. He came out, he basically had these, I think there's 4 guys, and they were all like, just made me think of like fucking Greek gods. One of them basically sort of sort of knelt down on all fours in front of the ring, and Dalton stepped on his back to get into the ring, like almost used him as a ring step. It was brilliant, I thought. And he came into the ring, he had this sort of like a cape, I suppose, and he lifted the arm up, and it was like a Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, like wings, but it was like more of a peacock than a dragon. It was brilliant. Now, if you've not seen it, as I always say, get onto ROHwrestling.com. Sign up is free if you want to watch TV every Thursday. If you don't pay for your subscription, honestly, just get onto it, because even if it's just for this entrance, it's just fucking brilliant. Even got a "that was awesome" chant. Ashley Sixx, don't know a lot about Ashley Sixx, but we found out that he's a cancer survivor, and he was due to join Scum with Jacobs, Corino, and Steen before his diagnosis, but then obviously, you know, he got, unfortunately came excuse me, came down with a bad illness known as cancer. What type it was, I'm not sure. They didn't divulge into that. So, you know, obviously he had to go away and deal with his personal things, and now he's back on track. Picked up the win here. I can't remember the move that he used. I can't remember the name of it, but he picked up the win. He'll face Donovan Dijak in the semi-final. I praised both men on Twitter. Best first round match, I would say, at the tournament this year. Hands down, just a fantastic wrestling match. You know, they probably got given a good 8-10 minutes or so. I loved it. I thought it was a brilliant wrestling match. And Ashley Sixx was really appreciative of the praise that I gave him. He was like, "Oh, thanks very much," you know. And to me, when you praise a wrestler and they take their time to thank you, that's quite a big compliment to the fan, in my opinion, because the wrestler is taking time out of their day to appreciate what the fan is saying. So I just appreciate it. If you listen to Ashley Sixx, I think just a brilliant match, as I say, and hopefully the semi-final with Donovan Dijak will be just as good, if not better. I'm looking forward to seeing where this guy goes in his career, because he's just got a hell of a lot of talent, I think. Certainly a lot of potential there. The sky's the limit for this guy, it really is. Adam Cole, I use my my tablet, my Samsung tablet, for my notes. Adam Cole promo. This wasn't a fucking promo at all. It was very Chris Jericho 2012, like I think it was 2012 where he came back for his, you know, his short run with with CM Punk. Sorry. Basically, he came into the arena, said nothing. There was no "Adam Cole, baby." There was none of that. Got into the ring with a microphone, walked out of the ring, stalked everybody, stole Bobby Cruz's chair. The timekeeper chased him off, and he just eyeballed Corino and Kelly. And Corino was just like, "What's going on? You're right, Adam." Just stared at him, didn't say anything. Just a vacant, blank, emotionless look on his face. He just sort of stared at him. Well, I wouldn't say it was emotionless. It was just like, "Fuck you all" kind of look. So he eventually gets it back into the ring, sits down in the middle of the ring, and he just got this real look of disgust on his face. It's brilliant. And he just looks into the hard camera. The hard camera's not on Cole, but he looks into the hard camera and just goes, and just walks off. It was, for what it was, where they're going with it, I haven't got a fucking clue, but it was brilliant. If it's starting off, I don't want them to go down the Chris Jericho route, but for what it was brilliant, because Cole was just, he just had that look of contempt and disgust on his face, and he just walked out. Brilliant. You know, for me, I always say Adam Cole is the best wrestler in the world right now, hands down, bar none. That's a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? You know, favoritism, I suppose. You know, I've met Adam Cole, lovely guy, absolutely lovely guy. I've seen his Panama's Finest DVD. Just comes across as a really lovely bloke, very appreciative of everything that everybody's done for him in his career, and I just personally think he's a great guy, fantastic professional wrestler, and as he likes to say, he's the best damn pro wrestler in the world. that's you know, it's not just opinion of myself. You know, there's a lot of other people who've got the same opinion as me of Adam Cole. And Vicky Earls has got, she likes Adam Cole, but for different reasons. Anyway, main event time. Swiftly moving on. Jay Lethal versus ACH versus Matt Sydal for the World Television Championship. I love Matt Sydal's entrance music. It's called Warrior Man by Dr. Dog, and he comes in, is almost a bit hippie-like, but not hippie-like. He's just like amazed by everything. I don't know if that's his gimmick or his character, but he just comes in and he's like, wow, I've been to this fairground so many times and wrestled so many matches here, and he's just like, he's got that look of awe on his face the whole time. It's brilliant. As I say, whether that's part of his gimmick or whether that's just him as a person, I'm not sure, but for me it was a really good 10-12 minute match. Even with the predictable outcome obviously being that Jay Lethal would retain. And the thing is with Jay's TV title reign, it's not been boring. You know, he's held the title for sort of 10 months now, I suppose, and it's not been a boring reign. You know, he's always been entertaining. He's always cut a good promo. He's always put on good wrestling matches, and he's constantly reinventing himself, and that's what you need to do in wrestling. You need to just constantly reinvent yourself. And he's not changing his character too much over that period of time, but he's changing it enough to keep everybody interested in what he's doing. Personally, I think he's the best champion in wrestling right now, right across the board. Actually, aside from Red Dragon as the ROH Tag Team Champions, I would say Jay Lethal is the best champion. But that Red Dragon thing again, that's like a personal preference, whereby they are my favourite tag team in the world. But you know, I said it on Twitter as well at the time. You go to Ring of Honor, or you go to watch a Ring of Honor show, the TV title is main event in the program. There's no world champion on the show, but your TV champion's main event in the program, and nobody sort of thinks, well, it looked out of place. Nobody at all, because fans have got that kind of respect for Ring of Honor, and their mid-card championship has got a fair bit of prestige within their company. And I wouldn't say it's immediately behind the World Championship, but if you're talking in scores of, say, between 1 and 10, you got your World Championship, which is at 10, and your TV title is probably about a 7.5/8, in my opinion. And the Tag Team Championships are probably on par with the TV Championship. And that's how you book your mid-card. Take note, WWE. I actually put something on Twitter, well, it's been a few weeks ago now, and it was the no DQ match between Cedric Alexander and Tommaso Ciampa, probably about a month or so ago now. And I said, take note, WWE, that's how you book a no DQ match. And Ring of Honor were straight on it like that. They retweeted it, they favorited the tweet. And that just, to me, proves as well that Ring of Honor appreciate their fan base and the opinions of their fan base. And, you know, quite humbling as well, really, for me as a fan. We've got the 13th anniversary coming up, as I mentioned previously. There's just 4 matches announced so far. We've got AJ Styles versus ACH, which, Tim, Randy Marsh moments, sir. Fucking hell, there's loads of Randy Marsh moments. Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks, and what more can these guys do? It's a Lucha Libre rules match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships. And what more can these guys do? We haven't seen them wrestle for probably like 9 months now. The last match was at War of the Worlds. The last sort of 2-on-2 match was at War of the Worlds under the Ring of Honor banner, and just one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen. Actually, I tell a lie, they had a match at All Star Extravaganza 6 last year that actually main evented a pay-per-view. A World Tag Team Championship main evented a pay-per-view over Jay Briscoe versus Michael Elgin for the World Championship. That goes to show what kind of prestige these guys have got within Ring of Honor, and for what level they've elevated the tag team championship to. This is a Lucha Libre rules match. Prepare to be wowed. Prepare to feel like Randy Marsh. The next Randy Marsh moment. Alberto El Patron versus Jay Lethal for the World Television Championship. Again, as I say, this is just going to be a phenomenal wrestling match. You've got the technician Alberto El Patron versus, well, Lethal, who can just wrestle all kinds of styles. Anybody who's not looking forward to this match is just, if you're a Ring of Honor fan, you're not looking forward to El Patron versus Jay Lethal. Obviously, you don't appreciate pure wrestling. And the main event is a four-way between Jay Briscoe, Michael Elgin, Hansen, and Tommaso Ciampa. As I say, this card's just got Randy Marsh moments written all over it. It's going to be fun. A phenomenal show. March the 1st. Unfortunately, I can't watch it live, but I will definitely be watching it on the Monday afterwards. I will be reviewing the show, and I will have two guests on the show. Mr. Tim Vicious, at Tim Vicious on Twitter, and Michael Cook, at the M Cook on Twitter. Excuse me. You know, me, Mike, and Tim, we always have these discussions on Ring of Honor, how we would book the company. There's a lot of things that we would change. You know, just anything we can think to talk about with Ring of Honor, we talk about it, and we just love and appreciate the product. So anybody who's going to be watching the 13th anniversary show, you know, make sure you check out Axel's Wrestling Review featuring Mr. Tim Vicious and Mr. Michael Cook. You know, it's going to be a hell of a show. That is the end of this show. As always, make sure you follow me on Twitter at Axel Mulligan. Look for the Axel's Analysis. I'm going back for about a month now. Axel's Wrestling Review Twitter page at A Wrestling Review. That's wrestling spelled without a G. Axel's Wrestling Review Facebook page. The YouTube channel is now YouTube/C/Axel's Wrestling Review. For some reason, I've been able to get a proper URL for it. So all this stuff, as always, will be written above my head by the time I come to producing this video, so to speak. As I say, Pro Wrestling Chaos, whatever your thoughts on what I've talked about at the beginning of this show, just let me know, or let your fans know more than anything. Don't let me know, let your fans know. You know, I know I'm not the only one who appreciates Morgan Webster. You know, sometimes, you know, I know you've got to give the fans what they want to see, but then obviously I understand where you guys are coming from, so looking forward to seeing what you guys got to say about it. As I say, that's the end of the show. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll be back again this weekend with the NXT review, and I've got a rant from Mr. Vince McMahon himself, who will be receiving a copy of Axel's Wrestling Review via Twitter. Vince McMahon, if the rumours I'm reading are true, sir, you've completely fucking lost it. End of the show. I'm going now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back again.